Hey, what's going on, Faithful? I just wanted to get on and talk a little bit about what direction the 49ers could go into now that things are starting to come into focus a little bit. New league year doesn't start until March 10th, but there's some movement. Teams are doing different things. The Rams, obviously, earlier this week with the Trent McDuffie move. The Bills are making moves. The Patriots just released Stephon Diggs. That was funny. I saw somebody post him with the 49er jersey on social media, and I was like, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if that's going to come to fruition. And it's just, for a lot of reasons. I mean, they're releasing him for cap relief. The 49ers don't want to pay Jawan 15 plus million. So I don't know why they'd pay a guy from the outside that much. That while he's had a more decorated career, he's also dealt with some other stuff, off field stuff, locker room, isn't like he's like not a model citizen, at least by reputation from, just, reading different things and seeing different things that people have said. Good player, but I just don't see the 49ers going that direction for wide receiver. The Romeo Doubs thing, that might have some legs. I mean, I can see that. I could see the 49ers tapping into a resource from basically an offense that is run a lot like our offense, or at least tries to be like our offense, right? It's one of Kyle's disciples in LaFleur. So he would understand the concepts. It wouldn't be a big learning curve for Romeo, so he could come in and pretty much hit the ground running. But he's also a guy that, again, he's not going to come super cheap. He's young. He's only 25, but, is he a significant upgrade when I watch him play compared to some of the guys we picked up along the way this year? I don't think so. I mean, he's faster than Kendrick Bourne, but is he a whole heck of a lot better than Kendrick Bourne? I don't think so. He's a second or third option, maybe a fourth option on a really good team with lots of receivers, right? So if you're trying to pick up a guy, it's all about why are you trying to pick up a receiver? The 49ers need to pick up, in my opinion, a big receiver that does have some speed and athleticism, and maybe a veteran to stabilize the room when Ricky is going to be out, because Ricky will probably miss time again. That's just what it is. When guys get hurt, they'll get hurt again. I hope he doesn't, but even if he misses just, 3 or 4 games or 5 games, so he plays 12, he misses 5. That's a chunk of your season, right? Especially in this division. So you have to have coverage for that. So your number 2, 3, 4 receivers need to be guys that you can rely upon, right? This is why, as much as I don't think necessarily the 49ers will be able to pull this off, or I would be pleasantly surprised, just like we were when we got Trent Williams and we got CMC, I would love to see Mike Evans here. I don't care about the age. I don't care that he got hurt last year, because what he's done in his career when he's on the field, and he's been on the field way more than he hasn't. Really, last year was just the first time that he's had that nagging hamstring. But assuming good health, which is always the thing we assume is the big hope with our team, but assuming good health, you're talking about a guy that is going to walk into the Hall of Fame. You're talking about a guy that, kind of like when Emmanuel Sanders came over in 2019, he's automatically going to stabilize that room. He's going to be the grown-up, the vet, the guy that all the guys look to and say, okay, that's how it's supposed to look. That's how my work ethic is supposed to look. That's how my professionalism is supposed to look. I mean, and again, then you're talking about a guy that's 6'5", 230, and I don't know if he's still, playing at that weight or whatever, and how the speed. I mean, it still looks pretty good to me. I mean, I looked at some of his games and then some of his highlights just to kind of see how he's moving last year. Still looks like he's moving pretty well, but at that size, you don't need a guy to really move amazingly well. What you need is a guy that can make contested catches. You need a guy that's going to be a beast in the red zone, which he is and has been in his career. And let's be honest too, you're going to need a target that Brock has never had before. It'll be a guy that, all right, Kittle goes down. Not saying George will, but I'm just saying if he does, you could still rely on that guy. 6'5", 230. You can rely on him at any point in the intermediate zone, in the short yardage game, goal line, anything. And if you want to go deep, he can go up and get the ball. He's not slow by any stretch, even at this point, well into his 30s. So I would love to see it. It would be great to see it. I don't know if the 49ers will be able to pull it off, but that would be the move at receiver. If you're not going to go that route, I almost would rather the 49ers wait until the draft. You have guys like Ted Hurst, who should be there in the mid-second to mid-third round. You're going to have Jeremy Bernard, who to me, and I posted this today, is like Brandon Ayuk, but bigger, faster, and stronger. So take that for what you will in terms of what he does on the field. Great route runner, just really good feet, maybe even better hands than Brandon. And so just a guy that you can see. I can see him even as a college player. He is so polished and he's so strong. Great route runner. He's a guy that I really believe is going to have a great career if he goes to the right place, right? Which we're usually the right place for offensive football. Who else do I really like? I think if they're not going to go that route at receiver earlier in the draft, they have options later. They have guys like Antonio Williams from Clemson, a little bit smaller, maybe about 5'11", but he's a speedster, 4.4 or below speed. You also have Kevin Coleman Jr., who did really well in the Senior Bowl, ran good routes, also about 5'11", just a shade under 6 feet. So these are more slot guys. But if you're going to get a bigger guy on the outside, maybe you do re-sign Juwan. I don't know. You can have these super slot guys that can just eat up just chunk yardage with their speed and with their route running. And again, guys that can provide something if and when Pearsall goes down, right? And so you need to be able to have guys like that because you can't just go into the season with Cowing and with Jordan Watkins. And then another thing I wanted to talk about is what will the 49ers do at pass rush? I think that there's a lot of rumors being floated around. I think that Hendrickson is still out there. He's still a possibility. It's definitely not out of the realm of possibility that he can come here and have a bounce back from an injury-riddled season that he just had. But then there's the Joey Bosa rumors as well, right? And we've seen that before, the 49ers being in on somebody like Joey. Now, Joey would have to come in at significantly less money, but he played so well, or at least pretty well, with the Bills. I don't know if he's going to come super cheap in comparison to Hendrickson. So, but those are the names to me. I mean, there's other names out there, but those two are the names that are the difference-making type of names. And I don't think it makes any sense to go after guys that had like 2 or 3 sacks last year, even 4 or 5 sacks, and throw a bunch of money their way. It's just not the way to do business when you're really trying to improve that part of your game. And when you have guys like Zion Young, who I really love, a guy that's coming out of Missouri. We've had good luck with someone coming out of Missouri, at least as just a super rookie when Alden came out. But it's not just that. I mean, Zion's a completely different player. This guy's, 260 plus. He's just a monster. Tons of tackles for loss. I personally think he's one of the best pass rushers in this draft. And he's one of the most physically imposing pass rushers in this draft. And he'll be there. He should be there at 27. He should be there maybe even by the early to mid-second round. And so, but do you want to wait? Do you want to wait to take that guy if you don't sign a free agent? And so those are the two position groups, though, that I think the 49ers are looking to sign in free agency. Wide receiver and in the pass rush game. It's looking like O-line, sorry to say, guys, but it's looking like more internal guys and maybe some depth pieces as well in the draft. So more to come. Thank you so much as always. Be sure to like and subscribe. Thanks so much, guys.